start. I'm not going to say that much because we're just doing this class for half an hour. But hi, welcome. Really wicked to see you. This was just a little something I wanted to do every week, just partly to stay in contact with everyone and partly because a few people had been like, oh, please can we have some yoga classes? So each week doing different things. This week is quite, I guess, quite a sort of classic class for me. It's this like normal style of class I do, for those of you that haven't been to my classes before. But this week we are going to look at hip opening. So we'll be working in the hip area, opening it up quite a lot, but also working on the strengths in the thighs and the glutes, so that even though we are opening our hips, we're gaining that strength so that we're not sort of losing control or overstretching here. So if any of you have downloaded the Spotify playlist that I recommended and I made, I'm going to press play on that right now, and then we are going to get cracking, ladies. So if you'd like to join me in pressing play or enjoying some lovely silence, if that's what you've opted for, then we shall get going. So wherever you are, finding yourself in a comfortable seat. So wherever you might be in the household or not in the household, whatever you might be sitting on, whether you've got a yoga mat or whether you've just got a blanket that you've popped yourself on this evening, finding yourself somewhere comfortable. So for me, I'm going to sit cross-legged, but you might find yourself wherever. If it's better on a cushion, sit yourself on a cushion. Also, if you're cross-legged and you want to pop a cushion under the knees, feel free to do that. But wherever we are, we're going to either close off the eyes and then drop the head down, chin to chest, or we're going to keep the spine nice and long. It depends how much space you've got in the back of your neck this evening. I've got a bit of space, so I'm just going to drop my chin down to my chest, resting the palms on the knees. And taking a moment here to just bring your awareness to yourself in this space. So trying to forget all the other things that happened today, all of the other places you were, all of the things you've done, and just bring yourself to this present moment in time, on your mat, in this space. Total awareness of your body, your present body. As we sit here, feeling the hips and the legs growing lovely and heavy, so sinking into the earth, grounding, rooting, creating this amazing stable base from which we can sort of do anything from, really. A weight in the legs. Bringing that focus now into the waist, so almost imagining this whole lower body as one entity. Bringing that weight into the waist and in the hips, so you're really grounded here. Allowing the hips to drop out. And working that weight up through the rest of the body, so starting to drop the shoulders. Shoulders coming away from the ears, heavy in the arms. Weight in the fingers, in the palms. Softening through the jaw. Softening through the whole face, through the cheeks, through the brow, through the forehead. And when we've softened and grounded down through the body, we're bringing the awareness just to the breath. A steady breath. And wherever the breath is in this practice today, we're not trying to change it. Just accepting it for what it is. Welcoming each breath into the body. Inhaling, filling up the chest, maybe breathing into the belly. With every exhale, allowing a little more release, a little more grounding. A few more of these conscious breaths. And on your next inhale, we're blinking open the eyes if the eyes were closed, or just opening through the neck again if the chin was down at the chest. Taking a second in neutral, lengthening through the spine, so this feeling that the length of the spine is continuing up through the head to the sky, pulling you upwards. And then left hand is just going to creep across the mat to the side of you, so creeping the fingertips across the mat. Right arm is then going to grow up tall, so shooting up to the sky, fingertips reaching to the ceiling. You want to be pulling through those fingertips as though you could almost pull the rest of your body up and away from the earth. Really spacious in the armpit and all the way down the right side of the body. On an exhale, creeping over ever so slightly, so keeping the length in the waist, keeping the length and sort of the stacking of the rib cage, and bringing those right fingertips just over to that left top corner of the room. Easing back to center, and then pulling ourselves up straight again, so seeing if there's a little bit more length in the spine this evening, really opening up, growing tall, before coming back again, over to that top left corner. While we're here, if you've got the space, bringing that right hand to that top hand, seeing if we can bring it back, so to me towards the brick wall, so for you towards the back of whatever room you're in, just gaining a little bit of extra space in the armpit here, opening through the chest a little further. You can look up at that hand if it's comfortable, or down at the ground. Breathing into the space we're creating in the waist. And coming back to center, releasing the arm, give the arm a little shake. Opposite side, right fingertips creeping across the earth. And then left arm shoots up to the sky again, reaching out through the fingertips as high as we can, pulling up through either side of the waist, regrowing and stacking that rib cage. Before on an exhale, releasing fingertips over to that top right corner of the room. Grounding through the hips still. If at any point your hips are starting to hurt in your cross-legged, you can either loosen the cross leg or cross them the other way again. Completely up to you. As last time, coming back to center, growing again, so really pulling up through that arm, space in the waist, before growing over again, reaching over to that top right side of the room, and then seeing if that top arm can come back at all, so opening just a little bit more in the front of that shoulder. On an exhale, coming back to center, releasing the arms. Again, have a little bit of a shake. Take that shake into the shoulders if you wish. Get a bit funky, because I like this song. And we're going to come into Baddha Konasana, or wide-legged seat. So this will be different for everyone. Soles of the feet are coming together and knees out wide. So mine is quite close to the body, so my feet are quite close, because I'm quite sort of free in the hips. If you're a bit tighter in the hips, you might find that your feet might go off of the screen here, a little bit further away from you. So wherever you are comfortable, if you have got pillows or blankets and your knees are really naked, you stuff them under your knees. Wherever we are, sitting up nice and tall, and then just bringing the palms down to the feet and paying the feet some attention for a moment. So hips are dropping out to the sides of the room, or sides of the body. I guess it is sides of the room too. Awareness on the toes, my horrible dirty toes that really need a clean. This is what happens when you don't see people, you don't wash your feet. And then we're going to hinge forward here, so keeping the spine lovely and long, tucking the chin in ever so slightly. We bring the body forward, so chest is coming towards the feet, hinging forward. You might find this is a tiny movement, you might find you're someone that comes quite far down. I don't come that far comfortably. But to begin with, we're just looking at keeping the length in the back of the spine. So wherever you feel you've still got that one continuous line from the top of the head down to the tailbone. Breathing into the space in the side of the waist. And then on your next exhale, allowing the body to curl over. So allowing an arch in the spine, allowing the neck to grow heavy. You might want to give your neck a little shake here, softening through the shoulders. Inhaling into the back body, into the back of the spine. And then gently on an inhale, releasing, sitting ourselves back up, rolling the shoulders back, opening through the chest. So we bring ourselves onto all fours now, so swiveling the legs around. Or you might actually probably come straight forward from where you are sat on your mats. And bring ourselves into all fours. Arms are stacked below the shoulders, knees stacked below the hips. And we're spreading through the palms, so an even weight in both palms, spreading through those fingers. And your elbows don't want to lock here, so feel like someone could easily knock your elbow and it would bend backwards rather than locking them inwards. You can always take a check back, check everything's in the right position. Just taking a moment here, engaging those core muscles to really hold the body with this length from the top of the head to the tailbone. So even though this is it looks like quite a simple pose, there's quite a lot of strength here. Everything is switched on. We're almost clawing the ground to hold us nice and strong in the arms. Continuing with this grounding through the palms, keeping the left knee and left leg planted where it is. We're going to bring the right leg out long behind us. So again, we want to consider this as an extension of the spine. So top of the head all the way down to the heel here, flexing through the heel, flexing those toes so that they're coming back towards the body. If that's really not nice, you can point the toes. I just quite like the stretch in the back of my leg as I bring it here. Squeezing the glutes, squeezing the core, using the thighs here, feeling a little bit of warmth in the body. And then we're opening up, so stacking that right hip on top of the left and opening the hips towards the right side of the room. So twisting through the body, seeing if we can keep that even weight on both hands. There's a tendency to rock one side or another, so see if you can keep that even weight while opening still through that right side. Holding it just a second longer. And release. Nice. Opposite side. So grounding again, coming back to center, grounding through that right knee this time, and the left leg is shooting out behind us. One nice long line. Heel pushing away from us. Toes flexing back towards the body. Lengthen the spine. So actually, if you can, rather than look at me, just looking at the ground in front of your hands. And then opening up again, so stacking left hip on top of right, opening through that left hip. Seeing if we've come too far again, I've automatically put weight in my right hand. Seeing if we can even up, back through those hands again. One more second. And bringing that right leg out long again behind us just for a second. We're just pushing out on here, and then that right leg is going to feed under the body and come between the hands. This might take a little bit of maneuvering, but work it there however you can. So bringing that leg forwards under the body, and then flopping it between the hands there, so grounding on the earth, just between the hands. When you've made it there, taking a check down, we want about a 90-degree angle between the back of the the calf and the thigh. I always call it my back shin. Don't tell everybody, but my calf and my thigh. And then making our way up, so pressing through that front foot, pressing, and squeezing through the thigh, making our way up, hands coming to hips first. So take a check of where we are here. If you are steady here, then stay with that leg in the same position. If you're a bit wobbly, walk that foot out to the right. Wherever we are, making sure that our belly is not leaning towards our front thigh here. We're really pushing into that leg to bring the belly away from the thigh. And then when we are lovely and stable, arms are coming up either side of the head, stretching fingertips towards the sky. Arms either side of the ears, stretching through the waist, growing through that upper body. Inhale, lengthening. Exhaling, sinking, grounding, squeezing the thighs together here. So that sensation that we're squeezing everything along an imaginary line down the body to hold us steady. Oh, and exhale, releasing the hands down either side of that front foot. And then keeping that back leg where it is, we're going to bring the right hand inside that right leg. So creeping that right leg out to the side of the mat, coming into our lizard pose here. When we've all made it there, you've got the option here. I always do this on the wrong side the first time so you can't really see. You can either stay here in lizard, you might find this is enough for you. You've got plenty of options. You can creep back this leg to give you a bit more space in the hips here. It's quite an intense stretch if you want to do that. Or this front leg, you can rock out onto the, make my hands so you can see, you can rock out onto the outside of that foot. Just again, a little bit more of a hip stretch. Wherever we are opening up or holding our lizards. Breathing into the space in the hips, space in the groin, and then creeping that foot back in between the hands. Just coming into a runner's lunge for a moment, so creeping backwards with the body lengthening through that right leg and then flexing the toes towards the face. Getting a bit of a stretch hopefully in the back of that lengthened leg. If we're in our runner, rather than really lean forward, trying to open up as much as we can with the front body here. So rather than closing it off, give yourself a bit of space. And creeping forwards again. Bringing that front leg back to all fours. Now we come onto the second side. Second side, here we come. So all fours, knees stacked below hips. And then left leg is coming out long behind us, just for a moment, holding it there, before bringing it beneath the body, stepping between those two hands, or maybe giving it a little bit of a hand there. Checking, see if you've got this roughly 90-degree angle in that front knee, and then pushing into the front foot, all the way up, bring the body up, nice and tall, hands on the hips. Again, doing a little check. You might feel different. You might be more stable or less stable on this leg. See how you feel. But grounding through that foot, and when we've got our stable base, check the bellies away from the thigh. We're bringing the arms up lovely and long either side of the head. Growing through the fingertips. Inhaling to grow, exhaling to ground, squeezing those thighs along that imaginary line. And then releasing the arms back down again. Creeping that left hand inside that left foot. And then rolling, if you wish, onto the outside of that left foot, or creeping that back leg a little bit back to give yourself some more space in the hips. Whatever option you wish for here. I'm just going to roll onto that foot. Just making our lizard pose whatever we need this evening. You might be happy here. And then rolling that foot back, creeping it into the middle of the hands again, and just coming into a brief runner's lunge step inside. So creeping the body back, lengthening the back of that left leg, and flexing the toes towards the face, opening out towards the front of your mat with the chest, shining the heart forwards. Creeping back again. Swinging that left leg back to all fours. Just taking a second here again to realign. And then tucking the toes, we're going to bring ourselves back. Where are we going to come to? We're going to come into our downward dog. So tucking the toes here, I think most of you know where you're going actually, but tucking the toes, and the bottom and the hips are going up and back. So pressing through the hands, spine is looking lovely and long, tucking the ears inside of the upper arms here. And I'd rather you kept the knees bent than try to straighten out through the legs and have this big V. Keep the legs bent and keep the length in the spine rather than straightening through the legs. Arch like this in the back. Pedaling out through the feet if you want some extra space in the back of the legs here. dropping one heel at a time.
Coming in pigeon on both sides. So this time it's holding our back straight. And then right knee is coming behind the right hand. So you can either just drop your toes here so the toes coming towards the back of the room, or you can push those toes out to the left side of the room, so in a clockwise direction. Depending on how much space you've got in here again. Dropping that back leg. And we're just moving that way down to the hips. So just trying to sit behind that foot.
Problem. If it's really uncomfortable though, creep those toes back and just tap them so the toes are pointing towards the back of the room and that leg is tucked. You've got a couple of options here. So you've got a couple of moments or so in your pigeon pose. So you can either come down to a slightly more restful pigeon, but actually it's quite a big stretch on the hips here. Releasing down. So this is option one. Option two, we can stay where we are. We're up here, opening through the chest, giving ourselves some space in the upper body. And then if you fancy a little bit of a challenge, option three, we're bending into that back leg, creeping the right hand round to where the left hand is, and then reaching back to that back leg. Might be worth giving it a try if you fancy it, because you get a lovely opening in the front of that left shoulder, actually. If this is too much though, just opt for one of the other pigeons. I've made the mistake of doing this on this side, so I kind of have to do it the same on both sides. So I've shot myself in the foot and I can't have a nice relaxing one. Wherever we are, reminding ourselves of the breath, breathing into the pose. And then if you are in this variation of pigeon, or if you're resting your forehead on the earth, bringing ourselves back into the middle, bringing the upper body back up again, grounding through the palms, tucking the back toe, lifting the knee, keeping that knee safe and bringing ourselves just back to our downward dog for a moment, pedaling through the feet, and then second side. So bringing ourselves back again through that plank. It's okay, you know what I mean? We're only there for a second now, so it's less horrible. If you really need to, you can drop your knees here, because it's not very nice doing a plank this time on a Tuesday evening. Left knee this time is going behind the left hand, and again you can either sit down with the toes pointing back just where they are, or creep those toes round to the right side of the room, and dropping that back knee, untucking the back foot, and then hips coming down to the earth. 3 options as last time. Try and do the same as you did on the first side, on the second side. So if you were down here, resting forehead on the palms, make your way there. If you were sitting up here, stay here. As I mentioned, you kind of have to do the same thing on both sides to be nice and even. I'm going to bring my toe back and then reach back, opening through the chest. Breathing into the pose wherever we are. If you're in the variation that I'm in, or you've got your forehead on the earth, coming back to our nice middle ground pigeon here. I called it a classic pigeon when I was doing this earlier, and I thought I can't make that mistake again. It sounds a bit ridiculous. So coming back to our classic pigeon, and then tucking those back toes, planting through the palms, lifting that back knee, coming back to our downward dog just for a moment, pedaling through the feet. And then knees coming down to the earth, making our way to our child's pose. So untucking the toes, bottom down to the heels, keeping the arms roughly where they are. So lovely length through the arms, spreading through the fingers, and then bringing the forehead down to the earth. If your bottom is not touching your heels, you can stuff something between here, like roll up a blanket or put a pillow in there. Same with the head. If your head isn't on the ground, pop something under your head. Breathing into the back body here. Be enjoying that space that we've got in the armpits and the hips here. Every exhale, allowing the body to grow a little heavier, so heavy in the hips. On your next inhale, creeping the hands towards the body again. Bringing ourselves up to a seat. You've got the option here, we're just going to take a little twist before we finish. So you can either sit on the heels if you're comfortable there, or you can bring the heels slightly apart and bring the bottom to the ground between the heels. If you're doing that though, I recommend squeezing the thighs together here so you've got this lovely arrow shape in the legs. So wherever you are comfortable, sitting up nice and tall, length through the spine. And then left hand's coming to right knee first, creeping the right fingertips behind the body. Inhaling to grow lovely and tall. And as we exhale, twisting from the waist. So coming around from the waist. And then when you've made it as far as you can from the waist, we're then opening through that back shoulder. So working into the twist bit by bit. You can look to the side of the room or look over the back shoulder. We're going to inhale, bringing ourselves back to center, working it around to the opposite side. So right hand to left knee, creeping the left fingertips behind, inhaling, growing lovely and tall, exhaling, twisting from the waist, and then opening up through that back shoulder. Inhaling length, exhaling, rounding. Bringing ourselves back to the front of our mats. Palms coming together at heart center. Bowing the head, chin tucking down to chest. Growing up through the spine, still grounding through the hips. Bringing ourselves back to the breath. Continuing to be present in this moment. And carrying that presence hopefully with us for the rest of the evening, perhaps into the rest of the week. Softly blinking open the eyes, opening up through the neck. I'm going to leave you all here. If you are feeling super chilled, feel free to go into a Shavasana or relaxation now. It might be quite nice. I'm going to love and leave you to do whatever you please. Stay here a few more moments if you have the time. I highly recommend laying down when you can, just because you can. But otherwise, I will hopefully see some of you next week. Have lovely weeks. Namaste. Thank you.